Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and this is 3 at 3. Every day, 3 at 3, we deliver a little education and information, and that's what this disclaimer says, that we are not your financial advisor, and that you need to understand all investments involve risk. Also, we do have intellectual property rights that are included in, but not limited to, registered marks, trademarks, patents, and so forth on virtually everything you're about to see. So please ask us before you choose to reproduce this. Thank you. So it was our buddy Sully today instead of the judge, who was on there with my brother Pete, who is doing a full ZZ top, it looks like at this point. Pete's chin looks like it is now, the growth on his chin looks like it's extending down to his tie. But anyway, a unique individual. Yeah. And this coming from a guy that is also a unique individual. Love you, Pete. Let's get started with Gap. GPS, Gap stores. I always thought they should change the name to Old Navy, quite frankly, because that's really where the juice is here with GPS. Gap stores derives an awful lot of money from Old Navy. That brand is killer. Gap used to be, of course, the lead, and it was the parent company, and still is the name on the door, but having a jeans size 33 and then 34 and then 35, that's what Gap did. They filled the gap. They were in there. If you had to choose between 32 and 34, they were in there with a 33. I think Banana Republic probably isn't the one that they go with, but I always thought it should have been Old Navy. But anyway, Gap stores, $34.70. When Pete was on air talking about it, it was down about $1. It is now moving higher than that by about 50 cents, give or take. Pete was talking about the May 34 calls in Gap store. So that would obviously be an in the money call. In the money as defined by a call that gives you the right to buy the stock at a strike price that is lower than where the stock is trading. That would be an in the money call. So the right to buy it at 34 with it trading at 34.70, I bet most of you can figure out is worth 70 cents plus some premium. Now, since these options are only 2 weeks, less than that, into the future because they expire the 3rd week of May, you don't have a lot of time. So when you're right on these, you have to take profits quickly. That's not my advice. That's what I do. So I would say Gap stores, $34.70. There it is, $35.27. And you see, according to that scale, low of the day, $33.33. High of the day, $35.34. We are right up against that. And it's good to see it pushing to the upper end of that bound since we're talking about calls. Thank you. There is that arrow again that shows you how you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. Reasons you should. Number one, you get all of our videos there. There are thousands of videos. You can go back over time and say, are those guys really as good as I think they are? And hopefully your answer is yes. But you could compare. You could go back and see the 3 at 3 from yesterday, from last Friday, from Thursday, from Wednesday, from Tuesday, from Monday. You can go back. They're all online there, folks, along with Pete's The Take, along with AJ Monty, along with our daily crypto bite. So many videos there. The reason we encourage you to subscribe is that that's what got us here. By you and your generosity subscribing, we have our own YouTube channel with 17,000, almost 18,000 subscribers now. We appreciate it, gives us more flexibility with our videos, and hopefully, since it's free, gives you a lot of great educational material. So think about subscribing. You just go to YouTube, you type in Market Rebellion, click subscribe. You might even click that little bell next to subscribe, and it would alert you when there is new content on the site. Here is Pete in his game room talking about International Game Technology, IGT, June 20 calls. The stock IGT began moving up rather aggressively. So Pete says he intends to hold these calls for about 4 weeks. I would agree, because they have about, give or take, 6 weeks to live, and they were out there buying the regular June expiration. So probably about 4 weeks of hold time. And there is what it looked like for our subscribers. IGT bullish calls, stock $19.50. Look where it was here. Well, I guess you can't see it. I didn't do it that one. Maybe we have it on the next one. But they bought 8,000 of those June 20 calls. So these were an out of the money call. Why out of the money? Because, as I described earlier, if the call is in the money, that means if you were to exercise that call, you would get stock at that might be trading in the previous example that was trading above where the strike price was. In this case, it's stock that is trading, the stock itself is above, not in the money. The stock is above, the strike price is above where the stock is trading. So IGT, International Game Tech, I think you guys know what they do. IGT is a big player in both lottery and in one-arm bandits or slot machines. And where is it now? Well, $20.39 just moments ago. As you see there, the range about $2.70. That's a big range for this one, but look at it. It's up 16+%, almost 17%. International Game Tech, the right to buy it at 20 out to June. That is now, according to that screen there, worth 39 cents, because right to buy it at 20, when it's trading 20.39, differential 39 cents, plus time premium, plus risk, and so forth. So those calls, International Game Tech, that is our second of the three at 3. Daily Crypto Bite. Daily Crypto Bite, we talk about unusual option activity, and we talk about unusual crypto activity. I'm lucky enough to be on with 2 really smart cryptopreneurs. These crypto entrepreneurs have been mining Bitcoin since they were in college. They created our curriculum. They moderate the room. They hire the people that go in and help you understand what's going on in crypto. 24/7, we've got people in that room, and you can join for just $1 for the first month. $1 for your first month. It's not worth the $29 that we regularly charge. Then that $1 is all you ever spent. You could say adios, see you later. marketrebellion.com/try-crypto. That is marketrebellion.com/try-crypto. By the way, if you pay that $1, you could join AJ Monty, who's going to be on at the close with the boys today. And they're going to be breaking down charts for cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Stellar, you name it. They're going to be in there in that room talking about a bunch of setups. AJ Monty is one of the best chartists you'll ever listen to. So check it out. It'll cost you $1 though. Oh my, $1 for the whole month. And you get that added streaming for included in the package today. $1. Bang. Let's talk about Run, R-U-N. This one's hit a couple times in the last few days, probably in the last couple weeks. Very active. Why? Well, when the Colonial Pipeline gets shut down, it's not just crude oil that goes higher, it's solar stocks. What does Sunrun do? Because that is the rest of the name. It's not just Run, it's Sunrun. They are designing and developing solar energy systems for big businesses and so forth. Big racks, battery storage, all that stuff. RUN is the symbol. The name is Sunrun. It is a $8.7 billion company. So this is a real deal, folks. they're buying with the stock at 43.45, they're buying the June 50 calls. So $6.50 above. In other words, out of the money. Now, since I didn't say it on the other two, I'm going to emphasize it now. I don't buy those out of the money calls. I almost never do. I buy at the money calls for June in order to express my bullish outlook for the stock, following the same month, but not the same strike. Why is that? Because these June 50 calls, let me see, where are they trading right now? These June 50 calls are trading at $1.90, all premium. What could I buy instead? Well, I could buy the June 45 calls, which would be closer to the money, for $3.20. Sell those others for $1.90. So then the net out of pocket would be $1.30 for a $5 spread. If I own the right to take the stock at 45 and I've delivered the right to somebody else to take it from me at 50, that's $5 call spread, folks, a call vertical spread. I end up spending less money, having less in the time decay. Why? Because I'm not just naked long and out of the money call. I'm long and at the money call, short the out of the money call, and thus I can impact Vega, which is Vega, which is volatility, and Theta, which is time decay. I impact both in my favor by doing that one-to-one call spread. I'm there swinging for singles and doubles, folks. Singles and doubles. You get on base ahead of me, I'm going to knock you around because I'm swinging for singles and doubles. If I swing for home runs, just like everybody that swings for home runs, you're going to have some spectacular losses. I, for the most part, have minor losses. I do have losses. I'll be the first to say it. I never am happy about the losses. I am a trader, so I get all jacked up when I have a good trade, and when I have a bad trade, I try to put it out of my mind. I get rid of it, move on to the next trade. You know my discipline. What I try to do is if I pay, in this case, if I paid $3.20 and sold the others at $1.90, that's $1.30, as I described. Collected $1.90, paid $3.20. If I do that and it falls to half of that, from $1.30 to say 65, 70 cents, I'm out. If that spread collapsed to that point, I would exit and move on. On the other hand, if that spread that I purchased for $1.30 goes to $2.60, could go all the way to $5, of course, at expiration, if the stock is at or through the higher strike that I'm short, the 50. If it goes to $2.60, I will take off half. Not cut just part of it, I'll take half. Why? Because that way I've recovered all of the money I had invested in the trade. Now I'll put a stop under that $2.60 at about 25 cents less. So let's call it $2.40. $2.40, $2.35-ish, I'll have a stop. And thus, the spread that I paid $1.30 for, I exit half on that win. And if it keeps running, then every so often I'll roll that stop order underneath it so that I can lock in as much of that gain as possible. That's what I do. You have to decide what's appropriate for you. There is a graph of Sunrun. There you see another one that is, wow, look at that range, $6. It was $37.42. It's $43.81 on the highs, high and low, but that's today's range. These are crazy ranges, folks. But nonetheless, 6% gain on the session, solar play, like it. If you want to learn more about how we do what we do and seeing that unusual activity and saying, I want to subscribe. I want to be in when John's in. I want to be in before Pete is on TV. Well, then you should join marketrebellion.com/UOA. Do we publish and say, this is the one I'm going to talk about on TV? No, we don't. No, we don't. Because that would seem like it's a little too much of a lead. And instead, what we do is we publish every trade that we're doing on that website, marketrebellion.com/UOA for unusual option activity. And then you trade the ones that are appropriate for you. Now, we never really know if the producers of the show Prashant or Patty, the two big producers. Prashant, Patty is the assistant producer. We never really know if they're going to let us do the call on the stock that we have. So we don't know for sure which ones we're going to talk about. We suggest several to them and they pick and choose. And then since we've already traded them and our disclosures are up on the website, then it comes time for unusual option activity. And all of a sudden I'm looking at the screen and it says, okay, John, you're going to do Sunrun, RUN, and you're going to do Gap Store today. Okay. Those are the ones we sent you, among others. Anyway, you get the idea. If you'd like to subscribe, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. Now let's get to some questions, shall we? Whoops, one more. Expedia, EXPE. Thought I'd show you this one. The stocks was 173, 3,100 of the August 175 calls changed hands. Bang. The stock moving up, barely down on the day, 0.5%. Moved all the way up from 167.82, another $6 move in the stock. Wow, these are big moves, folks. But nonetheless, great opportunities created by these big moves. Now let's get to the questions. You can send them to me on Twitter at JONNAJARIAN. Semi, all right? Govinda. Hey, Govinda, thank you for participating, sir. And sorry. Govinda, his handle is GOVINDACHAWLAOM. And he asks, how do you see semiconductor market second half of this year? If anybody has pricing power, folks, it's semiconductor. I think a lot of demand will outstrip supply in a whole bunch of sectors. It's happening already in crude oil. Just ask people in Florida and the East Coast because of that pipeline, the Colonial Pipeline shut down. It'll be back up and running, but nonetheless, takes a while to get that from the pipeline to refined product out to automobiles. How do I see semiconductors second half of the year? Strong. I do see them strong, and I will be a buyer. DraftKings, what's your thought on the stock being so hammered? That's DKNG. It's down right now today, 44.07, down $1.27. That's almost 3%. That was asked by at HVACTECT, don't want to screw you up, big guy. At HVACTECH13. Also, Jack asks us, and his handle is at J_CAP36. What's going on with DraftKings? Are you buying more here? Well, you saw that we have unusual activity in IGT. You saw Pete talk about it on the halftime report. So a lot of us think that gaming is making a big comeback. Now, Kathy Woods owns this one. And Kathy Woods is a brilliant investor that has a golden touch. But there are a lot of people right now racing ahead of Kathy because they think there are liquidations. And I'm sure there are in her funds. Because, you know, when you put up 170% return, it's not so surprising to see people shooting at you. And the fact that Tesla and DraftKings and Palantir and a host of others in her portfolio, Teladoc, have been big underperformers this year is why people are selling ahead of that, thinking she's got to sell, she's got to lighten up some of these names, because if she gets redemptions, that means she has to get cash to pay those people out. And that's why she's tapping stocks like DraftKings. Look at the rest of the space. Penn Gaming, PENN, up 2.4% today. That's my buddy Dave Portnoy. I already talked about IGT. You know, I own a couple of these names, including the likes of Wynn and MGM. But right now, IGT and Penn are lighting it up. So what's going on? I think we just described. I'm not buying more here. I'll be happy to jump back in, but I've written pretty aggressively because of that thing that I fear is happening to Kathy. I've written aggressively at the money calls right here. All right. Serge Shavenko asks, and his handle is at SURGEE30. Lee Cooperman episode was amazing. Thank you. Going to rewatch it again and again. Thank you, Serge. I will pass that on to Lee Cooperman, who's a great gentleman. Love that guy. Think that he is very generous, not only with his time, but with his money. And we certainly appreciated having him on yesterday. There he is. In fact, he was on with us yesterday, special guest. You get the replay for free. Just go to marketrebellion.com/categories/videos/roundtables. If you are on our website, just click on that news tab up on top, and you'll be able to drop down to this. But Lee did a great job, and I would encourage all of you. He gave us 35, 40 minutes, some of the best 35 or 40 minutes on financial TV. Just happened to be on Market Rebellion instead of CNBC, Bloomberg, or Fox. We like that. All right, folks, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Remember, if you want to get started, learn more about stock, options, futures, crypto, go to marketrebellion.com/get started. That is marketrebellion.com/get started. You can see coaching, mentoring, education, where you decide when you want to watch those segments, those videos, as well as working through online workbooks and so forth. You can do all of that through us at Market Rebellion. Hey, thank you for joining us. Please tell a friend about Market Rebellion and have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bang.